Hello, my dear friends, everyone who is watching this video. I'm immensely grateful to you for taking time out of your lives to learn something new and gain more truthful information about an important period you will go through. Because if you plan to live a long life to 80, 90, or even 100 years, you need to understand that in reality, about half of that life will be lived in the menopausal period. Menstruation is not such a long phase of life. If we consider childhood, adolescence, and puberty, the reproductive period accompanied by menstrual cycles lasts approximately 20-25 years, perhaps a little longer. The rest of life is lived without menstruation. And while the absence of menstruation in childhood is perceived as completely normal and natural, the menopausal period is suddenly seen as something very frightening. The most important thing is that we remain very calm about the aging of our beloved pets, cats and dogs. We never focus on the idea that something urgently needs to be done to preserve their youth. We all understand that if a cat lives more than 10 years, and some live up to 25, my cat, now 15 years old, knock on wood, still looks quite good. My husky is already 10 years old. Usually huskies live about 10-11 years, but so far there are no complaints. Yet I do absolutely nothing to prolong the lives of my beloved animals except provide good care and love, and that is enough. It turns out that in human life everything is the same if we calmly understand that we will go through this period without panic, without harming our health through rough, aggressive procedures, interventions, injections, hormones, or other medications. If we do not begin to abuse our own bodies under the pretense of preserving youth, then we have a tremendous chance to live a long life and enjoy it truly. Because the secret of longevity are not cosmetics, not various plastic surgeries, not hormones, and not all these things that are now invented and sold left and right, usually with very frightening advertising, claiming that if you do not take them, everything will go wrong. The real secret of longevity in life is understanding all these stages of life, accepting them positively, avoiding self-harm, and of course taking care of one's health through proper nutrition and regular balanced physical activity, not exhausting exercise. People who do this always have a chance to live longer, and I will try to explain through lectures created especially for you that what actually happens to our bodies, how we can support ourselves, and how we can improve the way we move through these transitional periods of transformation. For example, from the reproductive period with menstrual cycles to the period when they cease. Right away, hormonally, women do not become depleted or, so to speak, left without hormones. They do not lose their hormones, rather they have natural hormone levels physiological for the age. So let us begin with why these lectures are important. As I mentioned earlier, there is far too much untrue and misleading information that is based on fear-mongering. Fear is always a powerful element of advertising. It affects the brain. It pushes people to spend money on various medications, supplements, and procedures that reduce the impact of approaching old age. Moreover, this kind of information is very often accomplished by altered falsehoods and myths. I want to dispel these myths, especially those related to a woman's hormonal background and other issues connected with menopause. By the way, I have started working on a book about menopause. The book is about halfway finished. So much information has been thoroughly researched and carefully verified. However, in this course of videos, you will receive the most essential, the most important information, because there is so much material that it is simply impossible to cover everything, even in several hours of lectures. For me, the most important thing that you take away from these videos, from these lectures, is a positive perspective and an understanding of menopause as a natural stage of life. You need to realize that this is not a disease, that we all go through it. I have gone through it myself. I am postmenopausal, and I'm not embarrassed to talk about it. Honestly, I have nothing to complain about because I accepted this stage very calmly. I continue to do even more than I thought I would or planned to do, because I truly gained wisdom, a more rational approach to what I do, and much clearer priorities. Of course, I also began to take much better care of my health. Before, I lived mostly at a frantic pace, running, as the saying goes, headlong across Europe. I seemed to understand everything. I know everything. I went to the gym. I did this and that, but in reality, I made many mistakes. Now I can go through the stage calmly, and I am consciously improving the way I care for myself. Life has taught me that taking care of oneself, nutrition, sleep, physical activity, and one's mental state is far more important than taking all kinds of pills. And even so, I am already over 60 years old. I take practically no medication except in rare cases for high blood pressure. Even so, that difficult period of my life has already passed. I can now control my blood pressure much better. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it useful, please press like. If you are interested in topics related to premenopause and menopause, I will continue to post more videos on this subject. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next one.